Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about the Amazon, and it's been making some headlines. This is September 26, 2023. The Amazon rainforest faces a severe drought that may affect about 500,000 people. That's ABC News. This right here is Reuters, October 10th, 2023, which is when I'm doing this at 7:30 at night Mountain Time. And indigenous people urge Brazil to declare a climate emergency as the rivers dry up. Okay, so the people that are living in the rainforest are being severely affected by a drought that's been going on for a while. This right here, it says a boy walks next to a floating home, stranded on what used to be the water's edge. So, the river is these people's livelihood. It's their water, of course. It's their transportation. It's how they get food and medical services in. It's how they have lived for eons. And now the transportation is drying up, as is the resources, the fishing, the water. People are having trouble just getting essential supplies, such as food and water, because the principal means of transportation in the region is waterways, and river levels are historically low. Drought also impact fishing, a means of subsistence for many riverside communities, right? These people live in the rainforest. They're not going down to Costco, Walmart, to their local grocery store. It is what they get off the land. And Amazonians state declared an environmental emergency 2 weeks ago in response to the prolonged drought, and launched a response plan valued at $20 million, which in the Amazon rainforest is I don't know in American dollars, but a lot more than 20 million if you were doing that same thing in America, I'm sure. So the authorities will distribute food and water supplies as well as personal hygiene kits, the state civil defense agency said. So officials are meeting to discuss the drought, and they will coordinate measures in support of the people living in the affected municipalities. So they said 15 municipalities were in a state of emergency on Tuesday, while 40 others were in a state of alert. And here they talk about the water level is down to 55 feet, which is 20 feet below a year ago. But the lowest it was in 2010, and it was at 45 feet then. And then, of course, what's this being blamed on? Climate change. And no one can really prove that. Okay, this, rainforests maybe have had droughts in the past, but of course, everything is blamed on climate change. So, the thing about this is, okay, they're going to declare a climate emergency. And what exactly does that do? They're going to suddenly come up with solutions? I doubt it. But they want this emergency because the villages have no drinking water, food, or medicine due to the drying up of the rivers that is vital for travel in the rainforest. And it says here that the drought and heat waves has killed masses of fish in the river that indigenous people live off, and the water in the muddy streams at the tributaries of the Amazon River has become undrinkable. So they want this climate emergency to urgently address the vulnerability indigenous people are exposed to. Okay, again, something that should have been planned for before the disaster happened. And, but right now, they're just sending tens of thousands of food parcels to community isolated by the lack of river transport. It says here the most serious problem is that communities have no running water. Communities that have no running water is sanitation. Now that the river water cannot be drunk. And they say that the smaller rivers have dried up and turned to mud. And people have to walk long distances in the rainforest to find potable water. And the poor quality of water is making people ill. And right here, here's just an ad essentially for another article, but it is about the drought in the Amazon. And it says, without water, there is no life. And that is true. And drought in the Amazon is sharpening fears for the future. So they are in a severe condition down there. I don't really know if it's emergency and that it needs to be addressed. And, they do need to get food and water to these people. And, but this was foreseeable. Okay. This has been drying up for a while. Kind of like the water in the America West, where, oh my God, no, it's really, really, really getting low, and we still haven't done anything about our abuse of water if we just ended abuse of things. So these people are very affected, and, here in the States, we really live in a bubble and think about us, but these people that just live very simple lives in the rainforest, their lives right now are really being affected. And this is as big an emergency for them as any other devastating event, anywhere in the world. So I try to pay attention to outside of just the American bubble. And right now, these people, very nice, very simple people, their lives are truly just being affected. This guy's water house right here, that was a floating house. And I don't even know if that's livable now. I don't know. I don't know about the standards down there. They may not even have, certificate of occupancies, right? I mean, whatever you put over your roof is where you live in. So, but these people are in need of help, that's for sure. And outside of the American bubble, there are events that are going around that do affect people. A drought happens. This cannot guarantee climate change. Hey, that's right. But the fact of the matter is, if this is because of climate change, if you've been around here for a while, it's because all environmental voices and leaders and organizations haven't allowed the solutions the world needs since November 93. Come November 17th, it'll be 30 years that no one has allowed real solutions to prevent a lot of situations, toxic chemicals, pollutants, just abuse of resources and oil and coal. And if it does, not having solutions does, create some events, like is said, and this is one of them, well, that could have been prevented too. And as I say, why take the chance when the solutions are so easy? Everything that is said to create global warming causes so many other problems that it's just responsible to live responsibly, to reduce by reusing the two highest levels of the environmental hierarchy. And why take the chance with destructive storms that could be because of our emissions when these emissions are so easy to prevent? And, it's not just storms. It's events like potentially the Amazon being in a drought that's affecting 500,000 people. So just looking outside the American bubble today, people. Stay tuned.